This is Daniel Krug, and right at this very moment, his life just completely split in two. He had just found out that his wife was found dead in their own home. So, on December 14th, 2023, the police got this freaky, urgent call. There was a guy on the other end saying that his wife hadn't been answering messages. She wasn't picking up calls totally out of character for her. He was basically begging the cops to swing by their house and check what the heck was going on. When the officer got there and started going through the house, everything was normal until he peeked into the garage. And oh my god, that's when everything changed. Inside, between the cold concrete walls and the shadow of the car, he saw her body, lifeless. Later on, it came out that about a month before this, Crystal Krug had been getting a series of threatening messages. So, who left her body in the garage? Why was she getting those terrifying messages? And what role does her husband play in this dark, twisted story? Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Detective Mike. Oh my god, today's story, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. I gotta admit, while putting it together, I got chills down my spine more than a few times. So, if you're still ready to dive in, before we start, do me a favor, drop a comment letting me know what city you're watching from and what time it is there. Alright, let's get started. Today's story takes us to Boulder, Colorado, in the US, a town that a lot of people say is where nature and culture just blend together perfectly. It's the ideal spot if you want to feel that mix of wild, almost untouched beauty with a chill, creative vibe. Boulder sits right at the foot of the Rocky Mountains, so almost any street you're on gives you a killer view of the Flatirons, those massive, slanted rock formations that basically scream Boulder's name. They just stand there, silently towering over the town, reminding you how powerful nature is, and that we're just guests here. For a tourist, Boulder is basically heaven. There are dozens of hiking and trekking trails, all sorts of lengths and difficulties. You've got easy paths for family strolls, and then there are killer climbs for anyone who wants their heart pounding. The city itself is laced with bike paths, the air is fresh and crisp, and the sun sets over the mountains. Oh my god, they look like some artists went wild with the most intense colours in their palette. The heart of Boulder is Pearl Street. It's a pedestrian street that's always buzzing. You'll hear street musicians jamming, find tiny cafes roasting their coffee on the spot, restaurants cooking up local goodness, and shops selling everything from books to handmade crafts. The vibe here is relaxed, creative, even a little bohemian, and a big part of that comes from the University of Colorado, which is right nearby. Students are constantly moving through the city, giving it this sense of youth, energy, and non-stop life. Boulder's also known as one of the most eco-conscious cities in the US people. People here go for organic food, hit up farmers markets, and love staying active. The city is clean, calm, and safe. You'll see people leaving bikes unlocked and walking around late at night without a second thought. Everything about Boulder just gives off this feeling of harmony, space, and freedom. And it's right here, in this calm, beautiful, almost perfect town, that our story brings us to the Krug family's home, a place that's about to become the center of events that will send chills running down your spine.
Hello.
Oh, I was just, I'm their neighbor, and they called me. They're like, can you go see if she'll answer the
Oh, yeah, he sent us as well, so.
Yeah, I'm like, I live in the house.
Just next door? Okay.
All right, well, you got this.
Alrighty, man. Appreciate it.
The officer finds a neighbor standing by the door, looking visibly shaken. Turns out, as investigators would later discover, she was the one the husband had called, asking her to check if everything was okay with his wife. The neighbor nervously explains that she came right after getting the call, but no one answered the door.
Oh. 151, send medical, and 110. I need a 4th entry. I got a female down in the garage.
The officer spots a woman lying unconscious on the cold garage floor and immediately takes action. But when the investigator steps further into the house, the scene gets even darker. There, he finds the caller's wife, Crystal Krug. She's been beaten and fatally stabbed. But before we go any further, it's important to pause and really look at who this woman was. Understanding her life gives us a clearer picture of the tragedy that shattered a family and turned the world of everyone around her upside down. Crystal was born on November 24th, 1980, right in the heart of Boulder, Colorado. She grew up as a curious, bright child who loved both art and science with equal passion. From an early age, she was drawn to creativity. Modern dance became her language, a way to express her emotions and inner world. Her performances were full of grace, strength, and that unique kind of passion you just can't fake. She danced on countless stages, and every move left audiences with the sense that they were witnessing something truly one of a kind. But beyond her love for the arts, her greatest treasure in life was her 3 children, aged 14, 11, and 8. To them, she wasn't just a mom, she was their rock, their guide, and a constant source of warmth. She spent every free moment with them, helping her older daughters nurture their love for performing arts, while watching her little son tinker with experiments, eyes full of curiosity. Her home was alive with children's laughter, creativity, and that kind of love that holds a family together. Crystal wasn't just artistic. She had a sharp and endlessly curious mind. Her interest in science wasn't just a hobby, it was a true passion. Thanks to her academic achievements, she earned a scholarship to the prestigious Colorado School of Mines, where she first delved into biochemical engineering. Later, she transferred to the University of Colorado in Boulder, where she honed her skills further and eventually earned a Bachelor of Science in Biochemical Engineering. Her education opened the door to a brilliant career in technology and innovation. She joined Agilent Technologies, where her technical skills, discipline, and dedication quickly made her an indispensable team member. Colleagues admired her professionalism, and even more so, her humanity. In everyday life, Crystal was known for her kindness and warmth. She had this natural gift for lifting people's spirits, offering words of encouragement, and filling spaces with warmth where there had been emptiness. Her infectious laugh could break tension in any room. People were naturally drawn to her, and it felt completely effortless. But on December 14th, 2023, everything changed forever. A day that started out ordinary became a point of no return. So now, let's get back to the main story. Next, we meet the worried husband arriving at the scene, a house that was still recently a family home, but is now the site of a horrific crime. The police identified the man in the photo and confirmed that he was 44-year-old Daniel Krug, the husband of the deceased, the man she had lived beside for over 2 decades. Their story began long before this tragedy. They got married in 2007, started a family, raised 3 kids, and for a long time, it seemed like their life was unfolding in a typical, almost mundane family rhythm. But beneath the calm surface of their family life, tension had been building for a while. Family members would later reveal that Crystal was in the process of preparing for a divorce. She had already started taking concrete steps, gathering the necessary documents and information, and working towards securing full custody of the children. To outsiders, it might have seemed like just a complicated phase in a family's life, but to those close to her, it was clear. She was getting ready for serious, life-changing steps. Let's rewind to about a month earlier, when Crystal first reached out to the authorities. She reported a possible long-term stalker, someone who, according to her, had recently become especially persistent and dangerous. Threats and alarming incidents started to disrupt her daily life, making her feel uneasy even in her own home. She said this man had orchestrated a series of confrontations and conflicts that left her feeling constantly watched and unsafe, and she was seriously worried about both her own safety and that of her kids.
Just out of nowhere? Just
He
pop
does
back?
this. He does this, and he's been doing it for over 20 years.
Okay. So this is, so
This is the first time it's this violent,
Okay.
aggressive. Normally it's hey, how's it going?
Okay.
Nope. So the last contact was, I'm guessing, more than 5 years ago, just because it was last. I had a Facebook account at the time, and I don't have that, and haven't had it since pre-pandemic. So
Okay.
easily, like, whatever, how many years before that? Yeah, no, completely out of the blue, and not engaging at all. So there's absolutely no response from me.
Okay.
And he's still going. The in-person stuff that's scaring the crap out of me, and why I logged this, was starting since last Tuesday, and it's been almost every day since.
Okay.
I've gotten a few days break. In this
And it's always been text message, or has it been
and emails.
email? Okay.
And he's changing his phone number every single time he text messages me too.
Crystal explained that an ex-boyfriend, someone she'd been involved with over 20 years ago, and who, according to her, had occasionally reached out over the years, suddenly resurfaced. But this time, it was different. She described explicit text messages and emails that had turned threatening, along with inappropriate photos, way too revealing to even show. After that, investigators asked the couple to come down to the police station to provide more details about the possible stalking, especially after, according to them, Crystal received a mysterious photo of Ding on his way to work.
That made me go, is this his number? Where is he right now? What kind of car is he? Like this was alarming. He's never said this kind of stuff to me before, so whatever. And the fact that it went so emotional is like, something's really wrong here. Then things go dark, right? And this is when I then contact you guys, because this now is escalating. This is not just threats against me, it's threats against my husband. He contacts me, and you'll see in my little log that this is an email address he contacts me now from more frequently, like he actually reuses it. But he is now showing that picture that day. There's snow on the ground. My husband had only gone into work on that Tuesday for Halloween.
Okay. I'm guessing that it was creepy, but not real. You know, lots of people are jerks online. Sure. Other than that, I'm sure she has mentioned to you that she and I go through a rough patch, kind of on the rocks. So probably didn't seem that pressing until it was.
Daniel made a few alarming comments that immediately caught people's attention because of how he reacted. He called the reports of possible stalking creepy and unreal, dismissing them as exaggerated or even completely made up.
Fortunately, even though my husband has a camera in his car, he did not see anybody.
Sure.
And then unfortunately lost all the video because he didn't save it. So.
Yeah. She didn't want me to panic, so she didn't share all of the details of the log. And so, as I got all of the details, my panic level has gone considerably higher. Not now, because I'm in a police station. Sure. And honestly, this is the safest I've felt since Monday at lunch.
So anyway, just a lot of like very sexually explicit, very graphic, very just like poke the bear kind of thing. And then trying to prove to me that he can follow us.
Yeah. I went to the grocery store briefly on Tuesday, and someone behind me dropped a can. I panicked.
My husband did see these, definitely this message, so he very much still remembers that if you ever need someone to corroborate that they saw it, but I don't know how credible of a witness someone that my husband would be, but...
Yes and no, but...
Yeah.
So what am I doing? I'm panicking. And I'm doing a shit job of protecting my wife. As bad as I am, I care more about her safety.
Yeah. Well, I can understand that 100%.
And I'm sorry for this. wear a mask around the kids.
Absolutely. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, like, because this is now, like, so distracting and so constant, and it just, like, anytime my phone buzzes, I'm just like, I don't know what's coming my direction.
This brings us back to December, when security cameras caught Daniel in a strangely casual state. He strolls into work, acting completely nonchalant. For a moment, he even waved at the security guard, a gesture that might have seemed ordinary, even friendly. But just a few minutes later, Daniel made a call to the police.
Springfield Dispatchers meeting.
Hi there. My name is Dan Krug. I don't think this is an emergency, but this feels really weird.
Okay.
My wife isn't responding to text messages or phone calls.
Okay.
And we've had threats against us. We have both been targeted by a stalker.
Okay.
Threats have been made against my life.
Okay.
And threatening to like kidnap her, which is why I'm nervous that she's not answering me.
Yeah,
I didn't protect her. I was supposed to protect her.
Let them know about.
She had a gun. She was supposed
Daniel is escorted to the police station, where detectives start firing question after question at him.
Did what you said. Call police. Couldn't you call police? Did what you said. I had to protect her.
It's not your fault.
I was supposed to protect her. She was rushing me out the door. I was Greenfield. I was leaving. She told me that I had to go because she had a meeting. She was rushing me, and I went. She sent tissue, but she texted me asking me to pick up. So I canceled or skipped my my CFO meeting, so I could get, and I left her for this.
And you couldn't get a hold of her. She sent you that text. And that's as much contact as you had with her today.
And I panicked when the check marks weren't there.
What do the check marks mean?
Daniel tells investigators his first version of the story, claiming that his wife supposedly pushed him out the door before sending him a message about the kids shortly before the attack. Later, prosecutors would argue that Daniel himself had sent the message from his wife's phone, likely in an attempt to create an alibi. According to him, that's when he realized she hadn't read the message, panicked, and then called both the police and the neighbor.
Well, you mentioned earlier that she didn't tell you about something kicks. Which one was that? Kickman.
That's what we call the sucker.
Doesn't deserve it. Okay, and Midge
Came up with Kickman because
I remember having a conversation.
he was going to kick his ass.
Daniel now explains the family situation, mentioning the person they'd nicknamed the stalker Kickman, when one detective decides it's time to read him his rights. Let's see what he has to say.
We just now need to talk about your rights so we can proceed with getting the answers that we both want.
Yeah. I had two different voices going through my head right now.
I have my brother. Yeah, I've mentioned him. He's the sheriff's lieutenant. And I have his voice saying, talk to the police. And in typical cop fashion, he married a prosecutor. So I had Lynn's voice in my head going, get a lawyer.
Eventually, Daniel agrees to talk for now, but one detective presses him, digging for more details.
What caused the, I guess, anxiety or panic as to why it was so concerning that she didn't respond? It was a really specific question about a time impacting the kids. That's something she will always respond right away on. And then, other than that, that was enough for me. That felt weird. It hurt me that she didn't tell me about the stalker when it started, but she brought me in right away once he sent her a picture of me. And at that point, she brought me fully up to speed, and I saw the horrible messages. I saw the ad, all that crap. And that's when she and I started working on game plans. Again, what do we do to protect family, to protect the kids, define your threat level. She had a gun, she was armed. I don't want lethal items. We didn't let each other kind of be alone anywhere. I had to take dogs for walks. We would do that together.
So it almost sounds like all this kind of maybe even brought you guys closer, not maybe emotionally closer, but you guys were physically sort of working on things besides your kids.
There was a
mutual...
Yeah, there was... Over the course of November, there was a better team feel.
Okay.
We respond to crisis.
Right.
And I told her at that point, I told her I didn't want to die for someone who didn't care about me anymore.
That's really hard.
And I told her I wanted a divorce.
And how did she take that?
Angry. Obviously. Mostly anger that I said it now, with everything else going on. So she said she didn't want to talk about it until all this was done. And then he got quiet, and we just kind of sat in the... I want a divorce.
Okay.
I have loved you for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was hurting when I said that, and what I wanted was her to say she cared about me. She did. What's his name? The other detective said that the cameras were turned off. That shouldn't happen. The only way that the cameras can be turned off is through the app. One of us has to hit the button.
According to the written arrest report, several home security cameras weren't recording at the time of the incident, and another was found covered with blue painter's tape. He claimed they had been turned off and that something was written on one of them.
He said they were turned off, and one of them looks like it has something on it. So, in my brain, I'm thinking someone made a move against her. So in my brain, the story that I have is someone came to the door. Maybe she went outside to get a package, and they must have come in. And she's a fighter. She's strong. She would have fought.
And why do you say that? Have you guys fought before, or you just know that? Okay.
I know her.
Okay.
She refuses to be a victim. I know her.
Okay. So, I mean, who do you think killed her?
I think it's Jacob. I think it's...
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's the first time I really said that.
I'm sorry well, that's what happened, and that's why we're taking this so seriously.
Now, Daniel points the finger at the alleged stalker again, as investigators start revealing conflicting information.
What if I told you that we had already spoken with him? There's no way that he was in town today.
I have nothing. And I'm terrified to bring my children home.
The Gmail account, the Kickman account that you guys initially received with the photo of you in it, and the phone number, those originated through their IP addresses at your office.
Doesn't make any sense. Well, he took the photo of me at my office.
Right. But both of those accounts originated from IP addresses that was back to your office.
I don't know what to do with that. There are Wi-Fi access throughout the facility for employees, and there's public Wi-Fi access throughout the entire facility. And we literally post the passwords in every single meeting room.
Okay. Because I guess the biggest concern is just the timing of everything, that it just doesn't quite make sense to have somebody create an account, take a photo, and then immediately send it off, and then the account is no longer being used.
None of this makes any sense.
Things are certainly pointing in one direction right now. So I'm going to throw this idea out there. Right? You know he has reached out to her in the past, a number of times.
She's been very open about that, yes.
Right. The last time was 2016-ish. He had asked her at one point if she wanted to have sex.
I think he's approached her multiple times.
Right? So this next time, if there's any bit of question about infidelity, whether it's with or anybody else, we might create an account to see if we can create a facade, or see if Christine's actually interested in me. So we ask her and push the bounds a little bit and see if that will confirm our suspicions of infidelity. You don't get the response and the openness you once did for about 28 days, from October 2nd to October 31st. So you amp it up a little bit. Send a photo of yourself to her, an account you create. See what her response is.
Maybe this started out the way that it was recorded, and then maybe it turned into something different.
is that would suggest that I would put my children through this.
But I think ultimately what happened today would bring you the closest to your children that you've probably ever been in your mind.
There has to be someone
That was able to turn off the cameras, that was able to access a password-protected system to turn off cameras, that was able to use your IP address from your work to create accounts, to send messages and photos, to act as a stalking suspect. Well, tell me. Help me make sense of it.
I don't know, I'm not the one who does this. I'm analytical at work, and I read and write fiction at home. I don't do crime drama. I don't know what it is. It's, if you're adamant that it's not Kickman, then there has to be something else.
Kickman is 6.5 hour drive from here. There's no way you could have made that drive. If you flew, we would have record of that. That doesn't show up on any sort of flight record through the FBI, DEA, Homeland Security, anything like that. And then, in fact, he was contacted in his house, severely intoxicated.
Let's join the officers, who are now 8 hours away in Eagle Mountain, Utah, where they're about to meet the man Daniel claimed was responsible for the crime.
I'm going to ask you a couple of names to see if you recognize any names.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the name Crystal Krug? She may have been Grimsrod when you knew her.
Yeah.
And do you know a Daniel Krug?
No.
No? How do you know Crystal?
She was an ex-girlfriend.
She's an ex-girlfriend? How long's the ex? Like how long ago?
1999.
Oh, so like a long while ago.
She was my very first girlfriend ever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you talked to Crystal? Has it been a minute?
It's been a minute, yeah.
Like since you moved from...
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would have been, what, back in 2014?
Yeah.
The ex was ultimately ruled out after investigators confirmed he had an alibi and found no evidence placing him anywhere near the scene.
All this time that we've been looking for him, for the protection order, and you just found him today, like that.
So I've been looking at you, but I've been waiting for these records to come back.
We've been chasing the wrong dog.
Am I under arrest? Is it? It sounds like you're accusing me.
We have a lot of information that points your direction, and we're hoping that you could provide a legitimate explanation other than it wasn't me.
We have publicly available internet.
Say if we told you that other people you talk to that are close to your wife had expressed that she had maybe told them that she suspected you of having...
She said that right to my face. That she wanted to know if it was me. And I told her no.
But why would she suspect that? I don't understand how we take the leap from we haven't had a romantic relationship for a long time in our marriage to I suspect my husband is pretending to be my stalker. How does that happen? There's a missing explanation in there. There's a missing piece to that. I'd like to know what happened this morning. I'd like to know
Me too.
what caused you to get so upset to hurt your wife, because I believe that's what happened. I believe that you've been Because there's no other logical explanation.
I want to know what happened to her. Did she fight? Did she get shots off? Where was she in the house? So tell me. Did she fight? Did she get shots on? Where is she in the house?
We haven't been there to know. And there's only one person in this room that can tell us. Detective King Solomon and I have been here with you.
I think you know the answer to all those questions. I think you got confirmation or found out that she had a boyfriend this morning, or something happened that pissed you off, and you did something that you regret now because you can't go back. And you can't go back to, stalking her secretly, or pretending to be her stalker, or making plans, having cooperation with one another, although it's not romantic, having cooperation with one another to fight together against Kickman.
You have your theory. It is wrong. Please find the right one. Is this the point where whatever that checklist is, I say, I'll have it ready here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Daniel requests a lawyer and ends the interview, but we're going to hear from him again soon.
I want you to find who did this. Because I know it's her. You don't believe that? Fine. Just don't stop looking elsewhere. Focus on me. Okay? Find who did this. Are you married? With kids? Divorced? Right behind you. I don't care if you capture him. I just want the fucking name. He took my children's mother for Christmas.
According to District Attorney Brumfield, Daniel was charged with the murder of his ex, Crystal, and for carrying out a calculated plan to cover up his crime. Daniel was arrested on December 16th, 2023, and from that moment, his life changed forever. During the trial in April 2025, the jury carefully reviewed all the circumstances and evidence. They found him guilty of first-degree murder, as well as 2 counts of stalking, showing a prolonged pattern of harassment toward the victim. On top of that, the court confirmed his guilt for criminal impersonation, adding even more details to the story of his actions. On April 18th, 2025, the court handed down a harsh sentence: life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus several additional years for other crimes, underlining the severity of what he had done. Daniel is currently serving his sentence without any changes. The tragedy that began in their Boulder home left a deep mark on the lives of the family, neighbors, and everyone who followed this case. And that, friends, brings us to the end of our story. I'm trying out a slightly different storytelling format for you, detailed, atmospheric, a little chilling, but honest about the facts, and I'd love to hear what you think. Do you like this style? For now, I'm heading off to prep the next video, bringing you even more stories and fresh facts. Thanks so much for watching and for your support. Take care, and I hope to see you again soon on the channel.